General Daystar Brennan stood quietly at the front of the Alliance capital ship's bridge. Brennan was an unassuming man, mid-40s, with dark blue eyes on a pale crown of brown hair. By contrast, he wore a navy shirt and open-faced jacket, white fitted pants, and gleaming black boots. A double bar of triangular green and blue pips ran across his left breast, and 2 silver stars graced each shoulder. His hands were folded behind him, fingers curled, as he beheld the star. In the background, officers went about their work on the bridge. They wore a simpler variation of the general's outfit. Navy shirts, black pants and boots, the same blue and green pips. White jackets adorned the crew, save a colonel and lieutenant colonel with black ones. The colonel stood at communications and nodded along as officers gave her a report. But Brennan continued to stare out the window. The stars never warred. Crime and corruption couldn't dim their diamond lights. There was something serene, idyllic about them. If only they could speak. From their reflection came a glimpse of the old days, when the Alliance was about honor and heroism, when war was more noble, less political, and every leader was a leader for a reason. How quickly the children forgot their fathers. Brennan remained motionless as the colonel approached him.
Communications, sir. Colonel Jagger is expected from the Devera region. Also Jeffrey from Gren.
He stared out, eyes in the stars. After a minute, the colonel shifted.
Whichever you'd like first.
Daystar smiled sadly. Duty before self, Captain. Hold Zephyr, please. Transfer Jagger to my ready room.
Aye, sir.
Brennan strode across the bridge to his ready room. Butch Jagger was never someone the general liked, even in their days together on the Galvadoris. Jagger was a maverick by most standards. Headstrong, domineering, and self-righteous to a fault. He saw problems and ran himself ragged, trying to solve them. His way, of course. Some days the general wondered what had made Jagger the man he was. Other days, he looked at the Alliance and wondered why Jagger was so surprising. Brennan stepped into the ready room, bypassing its couches and coffee table. He sat at a black crescent-shaped desk, pressed his thumb into a square on its corner.
Authorization accepted. General Brennan. Activating comp desk interface.
A flood of screens flashed onto the tabletop. Brennan ignored them and tapped a blinking orange box which read, incoming comm call. The room's lights dimmed. Centered on the desk and a glass partition to the seating area. Then Jaeger appeared on the partition. He was as intense as the general remembered him. Piercing black eyes glared out, the centerpiece of a gaunt, hawk-like gaze. Jaeger's hair was lost between a dusty black and a silvery gray, short and immaculately smoothed. He wore a black command uniform. Brennan was the first to speak. "Good morning, Colonel Jaeger. How's the DeVero region today?" A venomous laugh.
Oh, hasn't changed since my report to General Stowey last week. Frenzy, fatigue, and some Jamati mobsters thinking they own the place. We're doing just fine. Thank you.
So, not so hot.
Look, General, it's not my fault I got sent to this rat hole. The only reason I'm here is because some idiot with more political power than brain power decided screwing me was a good use of my time.
The Alliance is well aware of your opinions on the matter. They're also aware of how you spent your 2 years there.
Easy for you to say out there on the high front with all the resources you could dream of. Come play in the trenches with me, why don't you?
Butch began counting on his fingers, rolling his eyes with each finger.
We haven't had shore leave since we got here. Half our food stores are gone. The Liberated showers blew out last week. We've lost ships, people, support, and time.
The general crossed his arms and waited. Jaeger continued his rant.
Remember the colonists we promised 2 years ago we'd free from the Jamati? They're real unhappy with our lack of progress. I can't blame them.
Save the theatrics, Colonel. There while you're out there, and I'm here.
Colonel Jaeger swore. Damn it! You just don't get it, do you?
Oh, I get it, all right. General Brennan straightened up, beamed him an unamused look. I've read the reports. Your problems are as much your own fault as your enemies. If you can't manage your assets, then perhaps DeVero is unsuitable for a man of your caliber. Butch swore again, this time much louder.
fictitious Vasmoy! My ship is the only good one left. I've taken it out apart to keep the fleet flying. What else can I do?
You can stay focused. This wouldn't be a problem if you'd engaged the Jamadi immediately, instead of wandering around looking for their base.
Destroying ships doesn't solve anything, and we both know it. Crooks like the Jamadi have endless resources. The only way to stop them is to cut their heads off.
He jabbed a button, projecting a map of the galaxy on Brennan's comp desk.
You see that bright white spot? Top, middle, and right? That's the Alliance. The Hive and Nether are east and south. Meridians are west, and the Fringe is north of them. Everything else is owned by the underworld.
So? Daystar shrugged. Nothing's changed in the last few thousand years.
General, over half the galaxy is missed. Half!
His face was a ferocious shade of red.
You don't give a damn, do you? None of it's real to you. You sit in your high-tier command ship, giving your orders, tossing out lives like they're slabs of meat.
Mind your tongue, Colonel! Brennan stood up, fire in his eyes. Yes, it sucks. Yes, it's wrong. But we don't call the shots.
And why not? Command's full of it. Only justice left is what we make of it.
You're a member of the Alliance military, and you will conduct yourself accordingly, Colonel! A long, violent stare down ensued. Jaeger glared at Brennan, beaming daggers and dripping poison. Brennan countered, eyes firm, yet frustrated. Change is coming. I've been dispatched with a fleet to help you restabilize the Devero region. Colonel Sparkov will then relieve you, pending your reassignment. Butch stared at him with a hollow gaze. You said it yourself, Colonel. The Devero command is rough. Lesser officers wouldn't have lasted this long. The command believes it's time for a new approach.
It's command's fault anyway. If they'd given me a decent fleet, some hope for success, I could have been done in a month.
But you're not. Daystar took a second to compose himself. Look, you need a hand. Surely you can see that. Just close your eyes and gut it out, and you'll be out of there. Silence.
Fine. change of scenery would be nice. See a planet without wondering which mob runt runs it.
You can see the kids. Catch up with Neil and...
My family is none of your business. Screw your own up.
Brennan turned away and sucked in a breath. Jaeger bit his lip and looked down. The general straightened up. Do what you can to stay afloat. I'm bringing the Katana, a dozen Avenger-class attack cruisers. We'll be there in a week.
We'll be expecting you.
Katana out.